Jai Gude, good evening everyone. My name is Someshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of Art of Living organization to Yog Vaashishtha evening session. नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का आर्ट ऑफ लिंग संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के सायंकाल के सत्र में स्वागत करता हूं. We'll continue our session by chanting Om 3 times. We'll begin our session by chanting Om 3 times. आज I welcome all our Zoom participants, all our YouTube viewers and all our Facebook viewers to today's session. Today we are on 146th session. आज हम लोग 146वें सत्र में यहाँ पे पहुंच चुके हैं. And we are looking at there is something called as Avidya Akhyan, that this world and its nature is so illusory. Just like that Chetana, that awareness, that consciousness is very, very vast. We are not able to define that consciousness in words. Exactly in a similar fashion, this Maya, this delusion, this Bhranti, this illusory world of the nature is also very, very vast. And through the story of Vipshchit, King Vipshchit Raja, we are looking at that, this vastness of this, the nature, the vastness of this entire world. So we'll continue to learn between. We also discover the knowledge. जो ज्ञान के मोती है वो मोती हमें यहाँ पे देखने के लिए we pick up some very beautiful takeaways and knowledge out of these stories which Vasishtha Muni is telling to Rama. So we are also discovering that. So let us see what is it there for us in today's session. But for now, let's all chant Om 3 times and then we'll continue the session. Let's all sit comfortably. Aram se baith jaye. And let us close our eyes. Let us bring back our attention to our breath. एक साधारण सांस अंदर ले और छोड़ दे. एक गहरी लंबी सांस अंदर ले और पूरी तरह से छोड़ दे, खाली हो जाए. Take a deep breath in for Omkar chanting. Let us invoke the divinity within. Guru Shakti का आवाहन कर लें. आवाहनम 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 पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानंद रूपोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् Shivoham. Shivoham. Let us express our gratitude towards Master. Guru Vandana kar le. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us pray to the divinity. Whatever the words that come out of this mouth, whatever the actions that are happening, whatever the thoughts that hover on to mind, and the power of discrimination that arise in our intellect. The impressions that might be getting created in our memory, and if still there is an iota of that I, me. Let all the known and unknown levels of our existence be inspired by the Master alone. Feel like this. We have already experienced that there is nothing that can bind us. This bondage is just at the level of chitta, mind. And if you already made your chitta free, then you are already experiencing your own self. To attain and to maintain such a Jivan Mukt Avastha, such a liberation, such a freedom, whatever Purusharth, whatever thing that we are supposed to do or continue to do so, let all that be inspired by the Master alone. Feeling the presence of the Master within and outside, slowly and gradually. The gentle smile on your face with a feeling of contentment. Whatever is required is there. You may open your eyes. Jai Gurudev, let's continue with our today's session now. So we are into, today we'll be looking at 124th subchapter, that's Avidya Akhyan, and the Vipshchit Raja, that Katha, that story, third portion of that continues today. So we are into this 7th chapter, the Nirvan Prakaran, Uttarradh, and we are looking at Avidya Akhyan. What is Avidya? Avidya is basically an ignorance. Something which is not in real nature, considering that something as real, is Avidya. We are not this body thinking that this body is Avidya. Getting stuck into this outer world and its vastness is Avidya. You want to go here, you want to go there, you want to see this, you want to see that. How much? There is a limit. Not understanding this limit is Avidya. It's okay. This beauty is there for us to experience. Yes, okay, fine. You have experienced it. Take a pause. Calm down, cool down. For some time, just close your eyes. Where are you running after? What is it that you want to see? What is it that is beyond the reach of you to see? It's all under your reach. It's all there, created by you only. What is it that you want to see? Stop, take a pause. But it is this chitta, it is these cravings, it is these vasanas, it is this lust that makes us go and see this, go and see that, do this, do that. And such a condition, such a state is that Vipshchit king, is that king gets caught up into not able to make himself free. And the story continues like that. Once upon a time there is this king called Vipshchit Raja, and then the other enemies attack on his kingdom, and how he just surrender himself to his own god, to whom he does the aradhana. Upasana is the fire. And then out of that fire, because of that boon, there were 4 duplicate Vipshchit Rajas comes into picture. They go into all the 4 directions. They win the war, but then when they see that there is a beauty, that scenery on the bank of the ocean, and they are not able to bring them back. They want to see, we want to experience this beauty, this nature. Well, there is nothing wrong in this. They do experience, that's fine. But then after staying there for some time, now I want to go and I want to explore even after this ocean. What is it there? Then they go into that, and like this, they crosses even 7 Deepas, 7 lands and 7 oceans, and yet they're wanting to know, yet they're exploring tendencies, yet their vasanas to see this world in its totality does not end. And they get into many different species, they get into many different yonis, and still that thing does not comprehend, it's continue. And then we saw that this particular one of the Vipshchit Raja, how does that Vipshchit Raja finally ultimately comes and he becomes the deer, and in the Ramas, that garden, he goes and he is there in a garden as a deer. So this is where our next story continues over here, that when everybody is so wonderstruck about it, that is where Rama orders the soldiers to go and bring that deer to the court. So that is what they do. They go and bring that deer, that mruga, to the court, and looking at that, into that Dasharatha's Bhavya Sabha, that court that is going on, where the dialogue between the Vaashishtha Muni and Prabhu Ramchandra is going on, all the people are listening to it, the way we listen to it every single day. So they were all looking at that deer who was like still that chanchalta, that thing was still not gone, and he was just going here and there, jumping here and there, as if people were feeling that, oh, next moment he will jump on us, and they were getting a little bit frightened about it. So like that he was there, and looking at that deer, that look at the condition of that, the king who was once upon a time a king, and because of that avidya, because of that ignorance, look at where he is there. Oh, it is so vismay, that wonder was coming, that was there in everybody's heart. That is what was expressed over there. So that is where the all the people, all the Munijan, all the kings and all, everybody was saying, what is this Maya? What is this delusion? It is really very vast. It's beyond our small tarka, small logic to even imagine about it. It is such a vastness of this avidya, it is such a vastness of this ignorance is there, that is keeping us all engaged throughout our life, and not only our life, beyond that. You again come back, again go, again come back, again go, and n number of such lifetimes spans you are stuck here, you come here, you experience the sorrow, same thing, you keep on doing the same thing like that. So they are just expressing their wonder about it. So that looking at this, the entire that code was like a standstill, something which is, how do we go in wonder stuck into that state, and how to break that ice. That is where Rama says that Bhagwan, he addresses to Vashishtha Bhagwan, this Vipshchit king, that look at his, will he be able to get into his Moola, Deha? No, will he be now getting that knowledge, that Atma Sakshatkara? And then will his this wanting to be seeing everything, see the end of the world and go, that Brahman that he's got into, and the kind of sorrow, that dukkha that he's going through, will that end? Is there a upaya? Is there a solution for this? So that is where the Vashishtha Muni says that Rama, like this, if you see that the one who in such a condition, whatever the deity that you have devoted your life, wherever you have your faith and your shraddha, to whomso you do your upasana, in such a condition they have to go back and then surrender to them. So like this, in his condition, from the Paramarthic perspective, this particular Vipshchit Raja, they were worshipping the Agni. So they have to go back and he has to surrender himself to Agni. That point of time, all that cleanliness will happen. Like that only this Mruga Sharira has to go. And he says that why I'm just telling you, let us do that. No, so let me show it that to you. How does that happen? How it will happen? So this deer will now do the Agni Pariksha, Agni Pravesha. So he will enter into the fire. So let me show that. So like this, he just picks up some of the water from his kamandalu, that thing which they carry, and say some mantras, and then they just bless that. So that there is this fire that comes into existence. Now that, as it is a imaginated fire, that fire is there, that smoke is not coming. It is just that page, that fire is there in the middle of the court, and that is where the Vashishtha Muni says that this let this deer be now enter into this, and he becomes free. He becomes free from all the ignorance that he's carrying. Like that, he blesses. So he says that once this kripa, once that grace, that blessings that flows through, at that point of time, he says that this is, hey Bhagwan, this he addresses that is like, whatever is this Sundar, this is very beautiful deer is there, who is in the form of actually the Vipshchit, let that deer to be transformed into Vipshchit. The moment Vashishtha Muni was saying these words, that deer started jumping, and it entered into that fire. Now slowly and gradually that transformation of that thing, because the words of the rishis or munis such as Vashishtha Muni, they never falls. It always turns true. And that fire was burning all the ignorance, and all the people were watching that moment, that the body of that deer was getting dissolved, and it was getting transformed into some other body, some body of the probably the male body. So after that, when that Agni completely disappears, they are able to now see that there is someone who has come and who is appearing in front of them, and he was all wearing the Rudrakshamala, and all his clothes were all Divyata. That Bhavyata, that Divyata was there, that luxury was seen. It's like a full moon that a particular being was appearing over there, and looking at that miraculous experience and that event. Everybody said, oh, aho, that wonderstruck, aho, bha. No, there is something so vilakshan, there is something so miraculous, that this Teja Purusha, this Purusha, that being which has come out of Teja. So because of that, everybody called him that he has taken a rebirth probably in this form, that Vipshchit Raja has come into this form. But as he has born out of that Teja, his name, they started calling him Vas. That is how he got the name of Bha, something which has come from the Bha, that fire, that Prabha, that fire, that Tej. Because of that is called Bhas. So he got this name like Bhas. So that is where the Bhas is there. Then he sat there for some time. He wanted just to see what has happened with him. He closed his eyes, and then after that, after remembering all that has happened with that Vipshchit king, then he opens up his eyes, he looks at everybody, and then once he becomes aware, then he goes and bow down to everybody, he expresses his thing, and once he comes to Vaashishtha Muni, he says that you are my Pranadatta, you are the one who has brought me into this knowledge, you are the one who has made me free from all the ignorance that I had been carrying through so many years and so many lives and births that I have seen, and like that. So that is where the Vaashishtha Muni blesses him that, hey Rajan, now we are come back in this swarm. Let all your avidya, let all your ignorance dissolve now. Let this completely bring you into that knowledge. So that is where he again goes and then do the abhivadan, do the namaskar to Rama. Also he offers his kritagyata to all the beings over there, and that is where even he goes and expresses his gratitude into Dasharath Raja. So that is where the Dasharath Raja says to him that, hey Rajan, no, you are welcome back now. No, it's all that bad phase, all that thing was gone now. Now you are welcome back. How it is so wonderful, it is so wonder, what is it, this miracle, that how you have been traveling around to see all these things, and this is something really that one, it can open up someone's eyes, no? That how one can get stuck into this sansara, how can one get stuck into this all this daily mundane routine. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to drop it, but it's just becoming an awareness. Just, it's not that Maya. Once upon a time, in one of the session, this in AGA session, where there was asked by one of the scientists that if you become aware about this Maya, what is Nisrividan? They said it is fine. If once you have understood, don't do anything. If you try to get out of this Maya, that is a bigger Maya. So it is like that somebody who is there who is a fish, and is there in the water, and that fish is now requesting, I want to come out of this water. What does that mean? Go die. No? And even that death also doesn't make you free. Then again that chitta will bring you back because of your vasana, because of your ichhas. So once you just become aware, okay, there is a water, this is there, let it there. Be in that. No, yet you can live your life, yet there is a water around you, and yet you can live your life like that. No? Say this Maya is there, let that Maya be there. You experience that freedom. You experience that Chaitanya. So like this, he said, what is it? So this is so vilakshan, this is what is there. Despite of that, you are into all these things. Because of that prabhav, that avidya, how this Vipshchita have gone into, despite of his name is Vipshchita, he behaved like a Vipshchita. It was there in the influence of this thing. But now he has become kleshari, that thing, that Atma Jnana, that Atma Shunya Avastha, that has really, this is that such a mithya, such a illusory thing, then always will give you that outward word and outward going activities, and it will always be kleshadayik. It will always bring you misery in your life. So like this, after listening to this, even the Vishwamitra was also there. Then Vishwamitra says, after listening to this story of that Vipshchita, he said, when he went to him, that he said, hey Rajan, whatever you have said is so true. Even I have seen one such story. I could recollect that the story of there was somebody called this. There was this desh called Uttarradh, and in that thing, that one person in that, how they have been looking for the end of this world, and like this, Satra Laksha means 1.7 million years have already been passed. They are looking for the end of this world, and they still did not find it, and they are continuously going. So it is just like, if there is this completely, this we say a goal. This earth is a goal. No? It's spherical, and if you start finding out the start and end of the sphere, will you able to succeed? You'll come, you'll go rotate, and we come back, and you'll rotate and rotate. and you'll continue to walk. And this is what exactly happened to them also. They never ever found the end of this world. Or even if you leave this planet behind and go into the bigger and bigger, the outer levels of this existence, yet you will not find any end of that. So like that, if the ants are there, like which are going through all these things, like that, this Vatadhara and their Shasak, their rulers, they kept on finding out the end of this world, but they never succeeded. Many times they dropped this body and they took the new body. They continued this effort, just like the ants that keeps on going around like that. But they never got bored out of it. They were always curious about it. What is it there? What is it there? They continue to go, but obviously, where will they find? Now, is there a start and end of the sphere? So they did not actually find anything like that. He continued. So then when he comes back, turns back to the Vaashishtha Muni there, that is where the Vaashishtha Muni says that even that Brahmadeva, that is comes into this sankalpa of this philosophy, into this dream-like situation, even that Chidapara Brahma, that thing is also experiences, and in that thing, that that Brahmadeva also goes into this kind of things only. So that is where says that anubhav, that is that ati sukshma chidana swarup, your own nature of your own self is what is worth knowing. That samvid is what is worth knowing. But then this is where the Vaashishtha Muni now says that look at this, how this is, no, this is so endless. This is that, hey Shrote Jano, all the gentlemen, all the people here, no, this is what the Paramash, this is what I told you guys, that this is the vichara that you have to do. You have to get into that, become one with that Chidakasha, become one with that Chaitanya. No, that is what is the Paramsati. That is what is, if you got stuck into this buddhi that I am this jiva, this kalpana, and then you'll not get into the dukkha, then such a dukkha that will appear, that one this Vipshchit Raja has gone through. Now this itself is so Ashcharya. This is a Mahad Ashcharya, that how come people are don't become aware, how come they are so much stuck in this world. This itself is the Mahad Ashcharya. So when Gurudev was talking about it, he said, no, that once upon he was listening to Maharshi Yogi. At that point of time, he said that, okay, he asked that, oh, you do all this tyaga and all this, you become sannyasi. How come you can do that? Well, my tyaga is nothing in front of you. Look at you, the one which is supreme in its nature, something which is worth holding on to it, you have dropped that. उसी को छोड़ दिया, बोलते जिसको पकड़ के रखना चाहिए अपनी जिंदगी में, उसी को छोड़ दिया, तो बोलते आप ही महात्यागी हो. So you have dropped that Chaitanya, you are not aware about your own self, you have dropped that and you are engaged into this. You are Mahatyagi in my way. Is just, it was a sarcastic comment that you are the Mahatyagi. Look at it. What is it that you are, so small temporary things, small pleasures you are running after, and that Paramananda, that thing you have left it within. You are Mahatyagi. Like he is passing on that, making fun of that. So this is where the Vaashishtha Muni tells everybody that look at this condition. Now come on, wake up. So this is where say the Vaashishtha Muni start addressing to that bhasa. That bhasa, that do you remember your past things of Vipshchit and all that? And will you can tell us what is it that you saw? Would love to hear it from you. What is that you have experienced? Till this point of time, I was telling them what has happened with you. Now, as you are already here, it's a good idea. You express yourself. No? The way we ask, hey, come on, express yourself. In the end of the session, if you have any question or if you have anything, you express yourself. So like the Vaashishtha Muni said, now it's your turn. You come on, you do it. So that is where the Bhas started saying that hey Bhagwan, this Prabhu, that I was so much stuck into this outer world and this drishya, this scenery, that I did the Bhagiratha Prayatna, means the Parakashta, that the pinnacle of putting an effort is called Bhagiratha Prayatna, is called that efforts that one puts. No? We have seen the story of Bhagiratha, how he brought the Ganges on his planet. So like that effort, something which is beyond the limit of all the efforts, that efforts is something that I was putting to find out this, know the vastness of this world. And that is where, when I saw this, he explains that what has happened with him now. Now he says that I was doing that end of the world as thing. So once upon a time, I went into one of the things, and after that thing, I became the tree, and I was there in that state for 1,000 such years. And after that, also this Bahya Pravritti, this outgoing tendencies of that thing, that Rena, that did not gone through, it was still there inside that. And after that, once I experienced this pain, this dukkha in that thing, yet that purva, or that thing going into these things, that chitta still not got that maturity. Because of that, inside that Vriksha Janma also, according to Dhrutimana, according to all the things, I have all just dependent upon, just like roots which are dependent on the water to suck and all that. I was like that. So then after that, in one of the Janma, now he's telling that I have taken multiple such birth, and in another one such life, I became the Mansa, that swan, a putra of that, into the Brahmaloka. So like that, in that state, I have spent 1,500 years on the Meru Parvata. Then after that, I became into the like this. Now is telling into all this, how this Chetana is there, how this consciousness is there, which is there, expresses into the form of Murta, the appearer, and the Amurta, then something which is not visible. Into that, in this Brahmanda, like this, there are all these different animals in all these 5 elements, Teja, Vayu, all the 5 elements, that things, I was really not able to get the end of that. No, this is so vast. That was so vast that I was not really able to. That is itself is Mahad Ashcharya. So I was getting into wonderstruck about it, but yet that curiosity to know this Brahmanda, that was nothing. So in one of such Brahmanda, I saw there was this lady, and then that lady was just like an Chita Akasha, in the form of Chita Akasha. That lady was there, and I was able to see the reflection of the entire Brahmanda in her. So like that, when I asked that, who are you, that Sundari, who are you? What is it that you are doing there? What is your this body? That is where she tell that, Are Baba, what is this? I am that Mahajaga, that Murta Amurta Sharira. I am only that Samvid. I am only that Chit. What you refer to, what is it? That is that Chaitanya. I am just that Chaitanya. I am expressing myself into the Murta Amurta Sthiti. Both things are there, but yet I never give up that awareness of who am I. That always there, but that Chetana expresses itself into the Murta and Amurta, means in the physical form and in the Nirakar, the non-physical form. So like this, in this entire world, even if you go through the Veda Shastras, etc., that is something which is that Vidhi Nisheda, that is being told into all these Shastras, and something which is not explained in the Shastra. Like that also, this world is full of all such bhutas. Bhutas means so many different types of elements, matters, that is all there. Whatever we can imagine or whatever we cannot imagine, it is full of all such things that exist here. Something which cannot be expressed into the forms, or something which expresses it to itself into the form of shabda, into the form of words. Like that, it has both. This entire world has both the type of things. That is that in the matter, that in the padartha, in the matter, that satta, that which is there, that shabda, that samanya swabhava, that anahat swarup, that dvani, it is there in that swabhava, it's there. So into this, when this creation of this world, that jagat nimitt is there, that point of time, that samana swabhava, that is there, and that is the karan, that is the things that is there in this, all this parvatati, in all these mountains, that same Brahma Satta that is being there. So that is where I saw that thing, that, and then in one of the Brahmanda I went, that is where saw there were only males, there were no females. So there was not this bhava of lust, kama vasana was not there. So like that, all this Buddha, in this, in one of the things that I saw, that there were only Pashu Pakshis were there. There no humans were there. Like that, into one of the Akasha, one of the Brahmanda I saw, where there were no this sun and moon, Chandra, Surya, they were not there. Those people, all the people were there, they were Swayam Prakashit. They were illuminating like, just like that one insect which eliminates that light in the things. So like that, they were self-illuminate. So like that. So like this, as one of the things, one of the planet I saw, there was no this day and night. It was all just there, just like that. So like that, he says that in one of the things, I getting tired. After that, I got into deep sleep. In that also, that Sushupti Avastha, I experienced that Swapna Jagrut Avastha. In that Avastha also, I saw this many different bhuvanas, many different mountains, and in this, in no matter of moment, I started seeing that horizon over there. And then, despite of that, this avidya and its aid, that kutuhala, that curiosity was still came back into when I opened my eyes, and again I started getting myself stuck into this drishya and adrishya, this gamya and agamya pradeshas, like that. Thousands of years passed like this, but yet I never got the end of this avidya. Like that, this in my hridaya, in my conscious, in my heart, that thing, that mithya root, that thing, because of that, just like that, if there is a kid and if there is somebody says that there is this ghost is there, bhoot is there, or pishacha is there, how he is not able to get to hold of that and end of that. Like that was my condition, and I was stuck into that. So despite of getting all these experience that this is not truth, this is not things, despite of that which are not wrong, this is where I should have dropped it. But then I was so much stuck into this vishayas and into this durvasana, despite of going through all the things that I was, because this sanskara itself I was carrying. This is what exactly I was carrying into that duality and that dvaita, because of that drishya, and then getting stuck into that dishta. Because of that, it has, that sanskara was so deep rooted in me that I was continually just got stuck into that only, and got stuck into the sukha dukkha, going through all these things, yet I was stuck into that. And then that point of time, there is something very miraculous thing that has, yet I was not free from all this thing, and something miraculous that I have saw happening, that into one of the akasha, into one such brahmanda, I saw something which is very vichitra, something which is very ashcharya, something which is very wonder. I wondered about it, that there was this very big body, shava, a dead body of very big. Very big, was just falling down, and then I saw that this is all falling down like this into this, and that is where he saw that, okay, it's all falling on him also. That earth is there, it's all falling on that earth, and it is all occupying everything. And that is where he sees that Vibhasa Varnan is there. So he sees that what is happening over here, and then he prays to the Agni, and then he enters into the Agni, so that Agni was also, as he is the god of that, he was protecting it, and then through that body, he makes one hole, and he comes out of that body, and now through the Akasha above the body, now they are looking at this entire earth is being all captured by this this whole body. And after that, he saw that all the other gods and all this, they were all gathered over there, and now they prayed to that goddess, and then that goddess came into picture, and then she's that was basically is the Swarupa of Kalaratri. So that Kalaratri came into picture. Again, a very descriptive varnam of that Kalaratri, which I already saw in some of the sessions, where she comes into picture, and then she just sucks all the blood of that Shava, and she comes along with all the ghosts and other different types of all the vultures and all that. They are all there, and they also go, and then they start dancing on the body of that Shava, which is accumulating the entire earth now, and the entire earth, that she sucks all the blood, and then she becomes Dashta Pushta. She was very crushed and she becomes that, and then she start dancing, and all the ghosts also start dancing on that Shiva. And because of that, all that, they started now eating that body parts, and that is where it's all spreads. So that is called as Med, that charbi, it's called Med. And that entire earth, it is completely full of that Med. So that is where the all the gods and all these siddhas, they comes into picture, and whatever the blood was which was there on the entire earth, they all put that entire blood into one of the sagara, into one things. They makes the earth free from that. But yet this all these things were there, and because of that, this dhara, this prithvi, this earth is also known as, because of that Med, it was all occupied. Because of the myth, it's also called Medini. There is another name of the earth that came into existence because of incidents, is what I saw. So like that, he continues to explain, this is what I saw, this is what has happened, and this is how the earth and its existence it called as Medini. So that is where he says that this earth became Medini that point of time, and that is where all these things, then the Surya comes into picture, that Akasha comes into picture, all the Parvat, Nadis, mountain, all these things, they become from, and they become free from that Shiva. So like after that, this Prajapati comes into picture, and again he creates the Srishti, and again it comes. So like that, for example, that ice age that happened kind of thing that has happened here, or very meteorite that we saw the Baba's video, very big meteorite that comes into picture, and it takes up all the life on this planet, like that. Some sthiti, something of that sort that happens here. So like that, that also happened. So then after that, it is like when there's a similar kind of situation that that point of time, that drinking that blood, all these ghosts were dancing, and that particular thing was called Surnav, Surarnav. So that is like a Madira, that called a sagar, that was called Madira Sagar. So like even today also, if you see the people who goes and drink and booze, and how after drinking that, they all dance and do whatnot. So all this similar kind of things that has been just compared here, like that only. So this is where this miraculous, wonder-struck chapter concludes over here. I'd like to hand over this session to you. You are welcome to express yourself. If you have any question, you are welcome to ask that. And what are the learnings and takeaways from such a chapter, such a Avidya, is something which you can express. So a unmute option is being made available here, and you are welcome to express yourself. आप अपने आप ही unmute करके अपने आप को व्यक्त कर सकते हैं. Over to you all. Jai Gurudev. Anyone would like to express themselves? If not, then we'll end this meet. Okay, we'll take a pause. आज के इस सत्र को हम लोग यहाँ पे रोक लेते हैं. We'll conclude this session today, so that we can meet tomorrow. Jai Gurudev.